Today, the Viyet produce solar system, and this video powered by Viyet galaxy. Solar system. It is a most important part in the galaxy, in all the Milky Way for human, because we are the human. We live in the earth, and earth is a very small part of this solar system. Why name it is solar system? Because the whole system controlled by in the one great star, and the name is sun, and sun is a talk about solar, so that is why it is called solar system. A solar system is made up of the sun and all the objects that orbit around it. And what are these objects? All these objects as planets, kind of. There are 8 planets in the solar system. First is very near, very small, is Mercury. Second is which near to Mercury and to Earth. So this place Venus between Mercury and Earth is Venus. Earth, and then it is near Earth and between Jupiter and Earth. Jupiter, which is big compared to Mars. Then Saturn. Saturn is special for its ring and very much big as well, but not like Jupiter. Then Uranus and Neptune. But one is, which is sometimes called as a planet, sometimes is Pluto. Now you know this, in solar system there is sun, and there is a lot of orbits, and all the planets are rotating the sun based on their orbits. Now every planet each has distance from sun. Now the inner planets and the outer planets. Inner planets, those planets that orbit close to sun, and the outer planet, their orbits are very far from sun. So there is a separate. So there is a 4 inner planet and the 4 outer planet. Now if you look the distance, all the distance measured by is the unit, astronomical units called astral units, and if you take it's a million miles, million kilometer. Mercury 50.9 millimeter, Venus is 108, Earth is 149, Mars is 227, 778 points, Saturn is 1407, and Uranus 1870 million kilometer, or is 4497, and Pluto is a very far 5913 million kilometers far from Sun. Then coming to Sun. Sun is a huge sphere of hot gas. The majority of this gas is hydrogen. About 70% of Sun is hydrogen, where helium is 28%, and are carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen 1/5, and there is some others very little amount of many other elements such as neon, iron, silicon, magnesium, and sulfur, just 0.5%. So the mostly is a hydrogen and helium, and that is why it's so bright and so hot. Every helium break it, making other nuclears give a heat. So helium basically the reason we have to such a hot sign, and the temperature in the sun. The sun is encamped in many mythologies. The Greek god is Helios, and the Roman treat god in every civilization. In civilization, even in Hindu, we also had a god, and in sun, the god. In this Hinduism, also there was a sun who was responsible for the creation. So sun is the representative of the ultimate center of solar system also is a beliefs and a faith. So that is called, it is a very much important for our astronomical beliefs and astrologies. Now coming to the sun surface structure, if you look picture, you can see there's a just upper layer which is covered by sun, and it is a hot, exactly the temperature before you are taking place on the sun. Corona, which is the layer of, will burn you totally, and you will be totally vanished and convert into gas, because the main ultimately hotter is the more layer rather the center. So center is a hotter than the layer. So layer corona, exactly the place take place and the is a chromosphere and atmosphere near to photosphere, and after photosphere near to center is surface flow, and exactly then start is the flow. Reaching surface of sun, there is a three layers: photosphere, chromosphere and corona. And in this internal part there is the inner core, the radiative zone and convection zone. Convection zone is a very hot, and very radiative zone is the radiations, and inner core is the eccentre where exactly sun is base. So this is the internal structure and this is the surface. Internal structure and the surface, in between the surface flow, which is basically the layer of this internal structure. Now is the most amazing part of solar system is each planet. The first is Mercury, which is very near to sun, and it's just near to sun. Very small, smallest planet system. The diminutive planet, about 3,030 miles and 4,800 kilometers in diameter. It is so shiny, look like a diamond, the blue diamond. If you look in the various times, this is a Mercury, so you can understand it is totally the most part and element is Mercury, and that is its look like it's so shiny. If you look on this picture, everybody want to buy this, but what is behind and what exactly inside it, we will know here. If you look on this picture, the carbon dioxide trap most of the heat from the sun, and the coat layer also act as a blanket. Result is a one-way greenhouse effect has caused the planet's temperature to soar to 165 degrees C and hot enough to lead, and that is Venus is even hotter than Mercury. So Mercury is the most planet but not hotter than Venus. So Venus is just next to Mercury but more hotter than Mercury. Why is it so? You can list that because there is a light which is melt position and temperature is a 465 degree, but in Mercury there is a more greenhouse gas which prevent itself to become a more hotter than Venus. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun and is also smallest of the 8 planets in our solar system. Mercury is one of rocky planets and it has a solid surface. It's covered with crater, has a thin atmosphere, and it does not have any moons. So its very surface is a very covered and cratered, and it is a totally rocky. If you look on this, very hot, okay, there is no single water, atmosphere is a very thin, so there you cannot actually the heat which coming from sun automatically get it. So there is no chances to you can make a footprint on this planet anytime. No moons because it is a very smallest, so there is no here. The second is Venus, planet Sun, and it is the second brightest object in the night sky after the moon. You can see very easily if you look on the star. The name after one goddess of the light beauty. The Venus is the second largest planet. It is sometimes referred to as the sister planet due to their similar sized mass. So it is very much similar, look like Earth. Mass and size most are similar, but the main thing is that it is the most brightest star if you look on the sky. So that is why we can say it is very near to our Earth. Only Venus and Uranus have this backward rotations. So you must Venus is a backward rotations, okay? So it completes one rotation in 243 Earth day. The longest day of any planet in our solar system, even longer than a whole year of Venus, but does not rise and set each day on the Venus like it does not most other planets. So in Venus there is no everyday day and no every night is a night. There is a night or day coming in a different way, because this rotation is a backward rotations, like so it is a different from Earth. You must know this. And it is not 365 day, it is a 273 day, so quite fast, more than Sun in a backward direction. Venus is the hottest world in the solar system, that you know this. So it is not near to Sun, it is just after Mercury, but more hotter than Mercury. Why is it so? All is the not planet close to Sun is dense atmosphere heat in a run ocean of the green effect that warm Earth. As a result, temperature on Venus reach 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and 465 degrees Celsius, and hot enough to melt lead. So there is any leads, and the leads in Venus is a melting conditions. Or in the Mercury, it is not like that. That is so shiny. And Venus is not shine because everything is melt. It's very hot. Even you cannot reach near to this place. Now is the most amazing part. Is a red planet, is a Mars. Fact. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and is the second smallest planet in the solar system. You can understand it's very near to Earth, okay? And we know about that we are going to Mars because it's near to Earth, near to our planet. It look like Earth. Maybe we can exist. Maybe the life can be exist because it's very near to Earth, but not exactly. What exactly behind it? Why it does look like so red? Now here, just coming here, Mars is terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere composed primarily of the carbon dioxide. So you have to look that why is it so red, because it's a totally carbon dioxide atmospheric. So and it's a very thin atmosphere. So if you reach there, the thin atmosphere cannot make you as existence on the ground. First, and the second is that it is red because it's a lot of carbon dioxide. So more carbon dioxide make our life more reliable, but there is a carbon dioxide, so obviously it can to get a converting to the oxygen. That can be a reason to think for our future on this planet, but it's not possible because the atmosphere is very thin. So the cosmic ray which coming from Sun, it easily affect our atmosphere on the Mars. So it is never possible. If you look on this, why is it so red? There is a lot of structures is there here. It's quite Earth, but it is little bit smaller than Earth. If you look on this ground, if you look on this level, these are pictures, clocked by the various, the planets from the which maybe the NASA or maybe others, agencies sent. The pictures coming from this ground it's very rocky, okay, and the red rocks. It's also described as a red planet due to its reddish appearance. And why is it reddish? Because there is a lot of carbon dioxides in the gases. So it is look like this, and very rocky. It is very rocky, and the rock's color is exactly in the red. And now is Mars has some extreme high and low in terrain. The surface gravity of Mars is only 37% of what you would find on the Earth. That's 37%. So you can jump very easily and you will go very high, which make it possible for volcanoes to be taller without collapsing. And this is why we have Olympus, the tallest volcano known on the planet solar system. You can jump and you will go so high. There is a gravity is a very less. So that is why every single collapsing in the volcanoes take a very high positions and make a most tallest volcano on this Earth. And not only on this Earth, in the solar system as well. Now the Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth planet from our Sun and is by far the largest planet in the solar system, more than twice as massive as all the other planets combined. Jupiter's streaks and swirls are actually cold and windy clouds of ammonia and water floating in an atmosphere of hydrogen and helium. So the ammonia and the water is a very coldest, okay, and is the largest among all the planet. If you add it, it will take place. Since Jupiter is a gas planet, it does not rotate as a solid sphere. Jupiter equator rotate a bit faster than its polar regions at a speed of 28,273 miles per hour and 43,000 kilometers per hour. Jupiter's day varies from 9 hours and 56 minutes around the poles to 9 hours and 56 minutes close to equator. So this planet rotates like Jupiter, very equator, okay, and very fast. So that is why the speed is very high. You can see the miles per hour. So in the very fast way, it is not like a big only, it is also rotate very fast rather than Earth. Now coming to here, if you look on this picture, there is in upper level this shiny place. Why is it so? Some astronomers believe that one reason Earth is habitable and is that the gravity of Jupiter does not help protect us from some comets. Long period comets in particular entered the solar system for its outer reaches. So Jupiter may be, after Mars, not near to Earth, but it don't has any effect or impact on the Earth, because the sun's rays exactly coming from Jupiter is the effect on Earth is very less, but it is a long, but the what effect is coming, it is a very long lasting, that you understand. Now is the most interesting on the ground is Saturn. Is the second largest planet and it is best known for its fabulous ring system. So it is just second near to Jupiter. Jupiter was the first and Saturn is the second. So for its fabulous ring system, Saturn is a gas and it's composed of similar gases including hydrogen, helium, methane. So the gas was in Sun also helium, and the various planet also it is a hydrogen and helium, but here is one more gas is methane, which make it more interesting. If you look on this ground, it's a very white color, okay, and not only white, is a very groundy and a very light, and it's a ring, but the sky is a very far from Earth. So if you look this by telescope, it will like it's very bright and a very white something in a very dark sky. Saturn has four main group of ring and there are fainter, narrower ring group. These groups are separated by gaps called divisions. So you can look these groups. If you look, those are basically ring, but the rings are basically a small combination asteroid are making these rings. There is a total 7 rings. In these 7 rings, there's a 4 rings is a fainter and the 3 rings is a narrower. So it's a small, because you can understand the ring is way. So and these groups are make its divisions. So separately you can understand rings. But if you try to see in the very near, it is basically not a ring. It is a series of very small asteroid which take place because of the gravitational force by the great Saturn. A unique feature of Saturn is that it is the least dense planet in the solar system. So density is a very less. Although Saturn may have a dense and solid core, the large gases outer layer of the planet make it average density and a mere 687 kg millimeter. So a unique feature is the 787 kg millimeter, and a result Saturn is lighter than water. It's very light, the gas. So now Uranus. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun, and while being visible to the naked eye, is not recognized as a planet due to its dimensions and slow orbit. So the orbit is very slow and the dimension, so it is cannot be a planet like Pluto, but it look like a very blue, and it is a most seven planet. But here in there is also very light and white ring is there, like we know about in Saturn. But you have to remember, in Saturn there is a 7 layer and 7 ring, or in Uranus there is a single and it's a very light. So it come asteroid who is near to this Uranus and take this being and make this ring. Now Uranus is tipped over on its side with an axial tilt of 98 degrees. So axial tilt is a 98 degree. So in the angle, so and this angle it is basically take place and the rotate to the Sun based on this orbit. So it's look like a blue very shine, the stone which is circulating in this 98 degree angle. So it is very shiny, and the head is quite a bit white rather than in the most places taken the blue. So it is not exactly blue, it is a very sky color. The Uranus atmosphere is made up of hydrogen, helium and methane, the same like a Saturn. The methane is Uranus. An upper atmosphere absorbs the red light from the Sun, but reflects the blue light from the Sun back into space, and this is why Uranus appears blue. Why is it blue? Because they reflect blue light from the Sun back into the space. So from the Sun, what exactly the blue light from the back of the Sun is reflecting on this, and the layer is made by hydrogen, helium, and because of this atmospheric quantity or the looks, this back reflection make a very blue color, and it's look like exactly blue what exactly you can see in this picture. Now is the Neptune. Neptune is 8th planet from the Sun and the last of the known planets. While it is the third largest with the respect to mass, it is only 4th largest in the term of diameter, and due to its blue colorations, Neptune was named after the Roman god of the sea. So it is like a sea color, exactly, the very blue and the sea color, water color. Sometimes it don't has any color, but it is like a sea color, okay? And it is in the mass, respect to mass, it is the third largest. And it is also respect to the god of Roman sea god. Neptune is the third most massive planet, and like the rest of the gas giant, Neptune has no defined surface layer. Instead, the gas transit into the Skalski eye and the water layer. The water ammonia ocean serves as the planet's mantle, and it contains more than 10 times the mass of Earth. If you look on this picture, you can see it is just, there is a lot of asteroids but not make it ring. So it is spread away, those asteroids just surrounded to the Neptune. The high pressure experiment suggests large amount of diamonds are formed from methane, and on the ice giant planets Uranus and Neptune, while some planets in other solar system may be almost pure diamond, and diamonds are also found in the star and may have been the first mineral ever to have formed. Why it's like a so shiny? And it is just like a blue diamond, because there is a diamond, exactly the diamond elements is there in the liquid form sometimes, but exactly in the way. But diamond cannot be a liquid form because it's a heart. And diamond basically is the element and the conversion version of the carbon. So there is a lot of carbons which make diamonds here. So it is like a blue diamonds on the sky and like Neptune. Now in this Neptune, there is also small rings, I told you, and these asteroids are in the very much, separated. So deep down inside Neptune, the planet might have an actual solid surface. At the very core of the gas and ice giant is thought to be the region of rock with roughly the mass of the Earth. So if you look on this there the mass and Earth is a very rocky rock. So gas and ice giant through the region of the rock. So it's a gas, but there is a rock is there. So it is also like a gas giant, like the Jupiter was a gas giant, but here it is a more in blue color because of the reflection from the sun is make it blue, and because there is atmosphere contain is like this. Last is Pluto. Pluto a essential snowball with a surface of methane ice and 3.06 billion miles from the sun, and might be making its way back into the solar system fraternity. So Pluto is a very rockish, very reddish and very hot, but it is basically snowball, very far from sun. So there is no heat temperature coming from sun, and obviously there is in between is a very much big surface is there, so the no temperature or the ray is reach to this planet, and obviously it's becoming so cold, and that is why it's become a ice ball and snowball. That definition excludes Pluto and the reclassified is as a dwarfed planet. Pluto is the largest and the second most massive after Eris known dwarf planet in the solar system. So there's a lot of dwarfed. It is not exactly the planet. So and it is the second most largest, and the ninth largest and the 10th most massive known object directly orbiting the sun. So it is like a one object which not we consider as a fully planet, but it has a orbit. So it is rotating on this orbit. So that is why it comes under the last and the very new known planet in this solar system. Pluto has been demoted because it does not dominate its neighbor, because it is very far and it don't has any impact on other planet and other orbit as well. It is not exactly planet, we know it is a dwarf, but impact on other planet it is very low. So that is why it is a demoted dwarf. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please subscribe Viyet channel, and for more know about the galaxy, you can look and you can just visit website of Viyet Galaxy. Thank you. Today the Viyet produce solar system, and this video powered by Viyet Galaxy solar system. It is a